Hello and welcome back to IXL tutorials. This is Mr. Duffick, and today we are doing IXL N8, which is properties of rhombuses. Okay, so remember, rhombuses are just shapes that have all equal sides. So all four of the sides are going to be the same length. They're all going to be congruent, right? And what we know from that is we also know the opposite angles within the rhombus are going to be congruent as well. So these are going to be the same angle, and then E and C are also going to be the same angle. And one of the other things to note here, to observe for this rhombus, is we have two lines that go from corner to corner here called a diagonal. Okay, and these diagonals are going to split our overall angles in half. So for instance, this angle E right here, that has the diagonal splitting it in half into two halves here, so 36, and then this half is going to be 36, meaning the entire angle is going to be 36 plus 36, or 72, and I can illustrate that here. Okay, so again, this angle is going to be equal to this angle, right, because this diagonal is cutting it in half, so this one's going to be 36, okay, so meaning the grand total here is going to be 72, meaning we know this entire thing is going to be 72, meaning we can figure out what the other two angles are. So we know all four angles have to add up to 360 degrees, and we know that F and D are going to be the same thing as well. So we're going to find F and D. And why we are going to do that is because the question is asking what the measure for angle BFC is. So BFC, it wants to know what this angle is right here. Just that part. Okay, so to figure out what this angle is, we got to figure out what the entire angle F is first, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to figure out what F and consequently D is as well. So since all four angles have to add up to 360 degrees, I'll make F X and then D also X because they have to equal each other, right? And so we'll go 72 plus 72 plus X, and all four of those have to add up to 360 degrees. Okay, so now we're going to combine like terms. We'll do 72 plus 72 is 144, plus X, which is 2X, and set that equal to 360. So now I'm going to subtract 144 from both sides so I can get that 2X by itself. 144 minus 144 cancels out. We're left with 2X equals 360 minus 144 is 216. Now to get X by itself, we'll divide both sides by 2. So what is left is X equals 108. So this angle is 108, and this angle is 108. And that's the entirety, right? We only want this half right here. We only want the measure for angle BFC, or BFC. So just this half right here. Well, if the whole thing is 108 and the diagonal is cutting that in half, that means this half is just going to be 54. And this half is going to be 54 too, right? But we really just want that 54 degrees right there for our angle. So it's going to be 54 degrees. Okay. Next, quadrilateral EFGH is a rhombus. Surprise, surprise. What is the measure for angle EFH? So EF and H. So just this little piece right there. So I'll take a snip. Okay. So it wants us to know what this angle is right here. Okay, it wants us to solve for that. So we'll do the same procedure as last time. We know that the opposite angles here are going to be the same. So we have 116. Okay. And we know all four have to add up to 360. So I'm going to do X and X again. Why not? So we'll do 116 plus X plus 116 plus X equals 360. Combine like terms. 116 plus 116 is 232. X plus X is plus 2X. And that equals 360. Getting the 2X by itself forces us to subtract the 232 from both sides. So we are left with 2X equals 360 minus 232 is going to be 128. Then we divide both sides by 2 to get the x by itself. So x equals 64. Okay. And so again, this entire angle is 64, but we want just half, right? Because the diagonal cuts f in half to this little part right here. So half of 64 is going to be 32. 32. Bingo. Okay, same type of problem right here. So I'm going to skip all the way to 60. Okay, ABCD is a rhombus, and the measure for BAC, so this half of A right here is 5z. What is the value of z? Okay, so now they throw some variables in there just to make our lives a little bit more difficult, but not really a problem. Okay, so we know this angle is 50. We know this angle is 50. Okay, and now we're just going to figure out what the other angles are already. And just like last time, we'll do x and x, I guess. So we'll go 50 plus x equals 360. So 100 plus 2x equals 360. Oh, nope. 360, okay. And then we'll subtract 100 from both sides. So we are left with 2x equals 260. And then divide both sides by 2. X equals 130 degrees. Cool. Okay, so we know the entirety of A, and now I'm going to erase this. Erase. So this is 130, and then this is 130. But remember, we only want just this half, right? We just want BAC. Because that's going to ultimately give us Z, which is what the answer is. So we know A has to equal, or not A, BAC has to equal 5Z, but we know that it also has to equal 65 because the entire angle A is 130. This diagonal cuts that in half, so this piece right here, again, is just going to be 65 degrees, right? So we'll go 65 degrees has to equal, it says 5Z, okay? Now 5Z, okay? And now we will divide both sides by 5 to get Z by itself. So 65 divided by 5 is 13, which equals Z. So Z is 13. Z is 13 degrees. We'll go back, plug in 13. Okay. Let's see, is a rhombus, and Gij is 3a. What is the value of A? Okay, so same problem here. You're just going to figure out what K and I are. So you know that H, the entirety of H is 63 and 63, which is 126, right? Therefore, J is also going to be 126. 126 plus 126 plus x, figure out what x is, and then take half that and set it equal to your Gij here, which is 3a. Okay, so is this parallelogram a rhombus? Well, the opposite angles are good, and these angles here are also going to be good. They're going to be congruent, so all the angles look good. We have a diagonal here, but we do not have a diagonal here. Is that going to be a problem for this rhombus? It is not, just because the angles are going to match up. Since the angles are going to match up here, we don't really need that diagonal. Okay, it's going to translate to making sure all of the sides are going to be congruent here. Okay, so that's where I'm going to end the video. Stay safe, take care, and study hard. I'll see you for the next IXL tutorial video. Goodbye.